Okay, so this video is for how to diagnose if you have an overheating condition on an '07 Nissan 350Z. This is with the HR motor, the dual throttle body HR engine. So if you have an overheating condition where your car goes into limp mode and it basically just overheats, most likely it's because the radiator cooling fans are not turning on. If you have air conditioning running and you're idling, yeah, this happened to me. I was sitting in a drive-through and the engine was fine. It was idling, but after that, it went into limp mode. I could not accelerate, and yeah, I just had to let it cool down. But I had, by the time the coolant had overheated, and yeah, and there's a overheat diagnostic code. I don't know what the number is, but yeah, it was basically an overheat diagnostic code. Now, I looked up the shop manuals, and yeah, I'm gonna try to diagnose this issue. So it looks like to start with, you have to check the fuses. I think there are two fuses that run from the battery, which are for the cooling fans. I think they are I and H. They're 40 amp fuses, so we're gonna check those first. And after that, through those fuses, it goes to this guy, which is the IPDM, Intelligent Power Distribution Module, and this is the engine room IER, engine room located IPDM. Here, there are certain relays which are built in, but those are for the AC, the flasher, headlight, tail lights, not for the cooling fan relays. Those are physical relays, so those are swappable relays. So thank goodness a bad IPDM is not going to be the issue with cooling fans. So yeah, we're going to diagnose that. Okay, so basically the fuses that you're looking for are the top two right fuses, the one which say radiator fans, the 40 amps. So that would be this one and this one, I think. And you could just shine a light on the top and see if the link is damaged. For me, it doesn't look like the fuses have gone bad, and I checked at least the one on the right with the multimeter, and the continuity seems to be there. So yeah, just check from the outside, and if you can remove them, check with the multimeter for continuity. For me, the fuses seem to be fine. Okay, so now we've tested the fuses. The next thing to test is actually the relays. But before we test the relays, there is another test that we can do to check the function of the relays, and that's actually called the active test. What that does is it tells the body control module to turn on the wipers, the headlights, the horn, the cooling fans, one after the other in like a sequence, like a diagnostic sequence, where you can do that using the active test. It's basically following a sequence to do the active test. You can do the same thing using a Consult 3 diagnostic tool, but since I don't have it, yeah, I'm gonna do the active test. Okay, so now we're gonna do the active test. So to do the active test, it actually says, the manual actually says to if your hood is closed, you lift the wipers up, the wiper blades up. But if your hood is open and you cannot lift the wiper blades up, spray some water onto the windshield because it's gonna run the wipers. So I've done that. I've sprayed some water. Now to do the active test, it says to first turn the ignition on. push the button for the door. Ten times, turn the ignition off, and then turn it back on. And that's the active test started with the honk. And it's running the wipers, through all the different speeds, but what we're looking for, okay, it turns on the headlights also as part of the active test, but what we are looking for is the fans to turn on. I can hear the relays clicking, but I do not see the fans turn on, which is what we want. I don't see any of the fans turn on. None of the fans ever turn on. So yeah, I think the active test has ended. I did hear all the relays clicking, well, a lot of them, and it's still going on. I think it keeps on going. Yeah, the lights are on now. But nothing on the fan. So yeah, it looks like either the fans are bad, or we'll have to check the relays, the actual physical relays. And if the relays are good, we'll check for power on the fan connector. Okay, so now we are underneath the car, and instead of checking the relays, which any normal person would, I chose to directly come down here and check for 12-volt signal when we do the auto test. The reason why I'm not checking the relay is because I did hear them clicking. So if they were clicking and none of the fans turn on, most likely there's nothing wrong with the relays. And yeah, more than likely relays don't go bad. They 90% of the times they just don't go bad. And yeah, so I think probably the fans are bad. So to check them, I removed these two connections, these two connectors. Seems to be a lot of dust. So yeah, they were connected here and here. So I'm below the radiator fan. Yeah, actually I'm below the car, but this is underneath the car facing the radiator fans. And yeah, you disconnect these two connectors. Basically, I had to get like a pick tool and push on this tab, and then yeah, they were in there tight. Put pressure using a pick tool or something that you can put pressure on this tab, and then try to wiggle it out and it'll come out. Yeah, but it's on there pretty tight, so yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Remove this one, and it should look something like that. Which is kind of strange, because here on the fan side you can actually see the pins. So obviously we can check for the 12-volt signal between, if I could get it to focus, yeah, between the the left two terminals to get 12 volts. Here and here should be the same. Okay, so now we're trying something else. We're trying to see if there is voltage on the fan harness connector when we do the auto test. So I have a multimeter set on DC voltage connected to the fan harness, and we're gonna do the auto test. I put some more water on the windshield. So yeah, let's see. Okay, let's first turn it off. Turn it on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn it off. Turn it on. Test is on. Okay, now let's look for voltage. Let's look for voltage. Crap. The leads came out. Okay, there we go. There we go, voltage. Voltage. Yep. Yeah, that sounded. Okay, yeah, the relays are fine, the fans are busted. The relays are fine, the fans are busted. Okay. Okay. Just to check, I think I can put it on the other connector also. So yeah, this is how the multimeter is wired right now. They have some resistors sticking in. I think this is enough. This is conclusive enough to test that. Yep, that's all I wanted to know before I ordered new cooling fans. Thank you. Alright, yeah, I think I'm gonna turn it off. So yeah, that's one way of testing if your cooling fans, the radiator fans, are bad. And yeah, in this case they are bad. Yep. Thanks for watching.